ઓકે ફ્રેન્ડ્સ, આપણે જે કાલ છે લોકલ સેલ્ફ ગવર્મેન્ટ સુધી કરી નાખેલો હતો. હવે આપણે સેપરેશન ઓફ પાવર તરફ જઈ રહ્યા છીએ. ઓકે, તો ચાલો મિત્રો, આજે આપણે સેપરેશન ઓફ પાવર નહીં કરીએ અને ત્યાંથી આગળ આપણે વધીશું. ઓકે, જ્યાં સુધી થાય ત્યાં સુધી આપણે કરીએ અને પછી નેક્સ્ટ પાર્ટની અંદર આપણે બાકીનું કવર કરશું. તો યસ, ચેક્સ એન્ડ બેલેન્સીસ નંબર 1. ઇન્ડિયાની અંદર શું છે કે સ્ટ્રિક્ટ સેપરેશન ઓફ પાવરની જગ્યાએ ચેક્સ એન્ડ બેલેન્સનું વધારે સિસ્ટમ છે. જેમ કે એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ જે છે ઇટ્સ અ પાર્ટ ઓફ પાર્લામેન્ટ, બરાબર. ઇવન જ્યુડિશરી જે છે એ ખાલી રિવ્યૂ કરે છે પણ લો પણ બનાવે છે. ઓકે, સો આપણે અહીંયા ચેક્સ અને બેલેન્સ ઉપર ધ્યાન આપવું છે. ઓકે, હવે લેજિસ્લેચર કંટ્રોલ ઓન જ્યુડિશરી કયો છે? તો ઇમ્પીચમેન્ટ એન્ડ રિમૂવલ ઓફ જજ, પાવર ટુ અમેન્ડ લો ડિક્લેર્ડ અલ્ટ્રા વાયલ બાય ધ કોર્ટ્સ, હે ને, આ ઘણીવાર કર્યો છે. પેલો STSC એટ્રોસિટીઝ એક્ટ હતો, પછી પેલું કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશનલ બોડીઝ માટે હતું, રાઈટ. આ ચીફ ઇલેક્શન કમિશનની અપોઇન્ટમેન્ટ માટે હતું, પછી દિલ્હી ગવર્મેન્ટની સિવિલ સર્વિસીસ રૂલ્સ માટે હતું. તો એ બધામાં અમેન્ડમેન્ટ્સ લઈ આવ્યા છે. ઓકે, એન્ડ રિવેલિડેટિંગ ઇન્ક્રીઝિંગ ધ સીટ અલાવન્સીસ એન્ડ સેલરીઝ. ઓકે, આ રીતે જ્યુડિશરી પર કંટ્રોલ છે. એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ પર કઈ રીતે? તો નો કોન્ફિડન્સ વોટ, પાવર ટુ એસેસ વર્ક ઓફ ધ એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ થ્રુ ધી ક્વેશ્ચન આર્સ, 0 hours. પછી ઇમ્પીચમેન્ટ ઓફ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ, પાર્લામેન્ટરી કમિટીઝ, કલેક્ટિવ રિસ્પોન્સિબિલિટી ટુ લોકસભા, આર્ટિકલ 75. યસ, અને કંટ્રોલ ઓવર કોન્સોલિડેટેડ ફંડ ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા. ઓકે, ઓન એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ કંટ્રોલ ઓન જ્યુડિશરી કઈ રીતે છે? તો મેકિંગ અપોઇન્ટમેન્ટ ટુ ધી ઓફિસ ઓફ ચીફ જસ્ટિસ એન્ડ અધર જજીસ, પાર્ડન છે, ટ્રિબ્યુનલ્સ છે. યસ, લેજિસ્લેચર ઉપર તો પાવર અંડર ડેલિગેટેડ લેજિસ્લેશન. યસ, authority to make rules for the regulating their respective procedures and conduct of business subject to provisions of constitution. Which is speaker post to the ruling party. Yes, ordinance power, summoning and prorogation of the house. Okay, disproportionate executive એટલે કઈ રીતે વધારે એનો દુરુપયોગ કરી રહ્યો છે? તો એન્ટી ડિફેક્શન છે, મની બિલ છે, ગિલોટીન છે, 91st કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન અમેન્ડમેન્ટ એક્ટ, 15% મિનિસ્ટર્સ હોય. ઓકે, જ્યુડિશિયલ કંટ્રોલ ઓન એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ કઈ રીતે? તો જ્યુડિશિયલ રિવ્યૂના માધ્યમથી, હે ને. ધ પાવર ટુ રિવ્યૂ ધી એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ એક્શન ડિટરમાઇન ઇફ ઇટ ઇઝ વાયોલેટિંગ ધી કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન. પછી આર્ટિકલ 142 છે, કમ્પ્લીટ જસ્ટિસ આપવા માટે. ઓકે, રામ મંદિરનો કેસ હતો, વિશાખા ગાઈડલાઇન હતો. યસ, ઓન લેજિસ્લેચર, unamendability of the constitution under basic structure doctrine pronounced by the Supreme Court in Keshavananda Bharati case 1973. ઓકે, જ્યુડિશિયલ રિવ્યૂના માધ્યમથી, એટલે કે લોને જે છે એ રિવ્યૂ કરવું, એ બધો પાવર જે છે એ જ્યુડિશરી પાસે છે. સો જ્યુડિશરી ઇઝ ઓલ્સો controlling the legislature. Okay, so this way each of these three wings are exercising checks and balances over the other two institutes. Okay, weakening of checks and balances. Yes, weak opposition, weak legislative scrutiny, judicial overreach, executive excesses by making ordinances. Yes. Okay, separation of power, Raj Narayan case 1975. It said that separation of power is a part of basic structure. Article 50, state shall take steps to separate judiciary from the executive. Okay, Article 121, 211, judicial conduct of the judge at the Supreme Court and the High Courts cannot be discussed in the Parliament or the state legislature. Yes. Article 122 and 212, the validity of the proceedings of the Parliament and the legislature cannot be called into question by any court. Okay, validity of the proceedings of the Parliament and the legislature cannot be called upon into question in any court. Okay, so Maharashtra Assembly Speaker was asked to file response to the privilege motion. Andhra High Court asking advocate to reply whether constitutional machinery has failed. Money bill, Manipur. So these are some of the examples wherein the judiciary has tried to interfere in the legislative procedures. Okay. Article 361, the president and the governor shall not be answerable to any court for the exercise of the performance of the power and duties of his office. Article 105 and 194, power of parliament to punish for the breach of privilege. Yes. Okay, unity of power, overlapping power of legislature with judiciary, remove the okay, what are the overlapping powers? So there are checks and balances, there are separation of power, but at the same time there is a unity of power. That is that the powers of legislature is overlapping with executive and judiciary. Okay, So let us see. First is to remove judge, Article 124 over 217, power to amend laws declared ultra-violent by the court and revalidating it, Article 368, punish for the breach of its privileges, yes, and speaker to disqualify MPs. So it's a way, yes, these are the powers. With executive, so these are the legislative powers, powers of overlapping powers of legislature. So that means that they are exercising some judicial powers itself. Okay, such as the removal of judge. Okay, power to amend the law, punish for the breach of privilege. So it is a work of judiciary, but still the parliament itself is doing. Speaker that can disqualify MP and MLAs. Yes. With respect to executive, to ministers, MPs and also an MPs and MLAs, yes. MP-led scheme, it's again executive. Dissolve no confidence motion. In case of no confidence motion, it is dissolved. Yes. Assess the work of executive. Impeachment of the president. Yes. Okay. Overlapping powers of the executive. Appointing the Chief Justice of India and the judges. Yes. Power to grant pardon. Yes. Tribunals and other quasi-judicial bodies. Yes. With legislature, they have the power to make ordinances, authority to make rules and regulations. Yes. Delegated legislation. With respect to judiciary, we have Article 137, 129, court on record and judicial review. Yes. Article 142, which provides complete justice, judiciary is able to exercise executive powers. With respect to legislature, we have judicial review and unamendability of the constitution under basic structure. Okay. Issue with functional overlapping, unaccountability, yes, erosion of faith, accumulation of power, adverse effect on development, yes. As per the Niti Aayog report, about 9,000 crore rupees was lost by just 3 judgments. Okay, so yes, utility is that it creates checks and balances, it leads to rule of law and check arbitrariness, and it increases cooperation between the 3 wings of the government. Okay, coming to parliament, yes, it's a big topic, so we need to focus on it. Okay, what is parliamentary system? Okay, nominal and real executive are different. Majority party rules, collective responsibility to the Lok Sabha. We have political homogeneity, double membership, yes, leadership of, well, yes, double membership. It is once they have a member, and they are also a member of executive, as well as they are also a member of parliament. Leadership of prime minister, yes. Dissolution of Lok Sabha, yes, and secrecy, oath of secrecy, yes. Okay. What are the merits? Harmony between legislature and executive. Harmony between legislature and executive. Responsible government, prevent despotism, a ready alternative government, and wide representation. Yes. Okay. Again, harmony between legislature and executive, responsible government, prevent despotism, ready alternative government, and wide representation. Demerits: unstable, no continuity of policy, dictatorship of cabinet, separation of power is hampered, and government of amateurs. Reason of adopting: familiarity with system, preference to more responsible government, need to avoid less executive conflict, legislature executive conflict, nature of Indian society, which is very diverse. Okay. Parliament, why proportional representation was not accepted? So, beg your pardon, sir. Parliament under Article 79 to 122 in Part 4, Part 5, proportional representation is not adopted. Difficult for voters to understand, yes. Multiple parties lead to instability. Eliminate intimate contact between voters and representatives. Promote minority thinking, yes. Increase significance of party system and decrease that of voters. Okay, and highly expensive in nature. So yes, why it is very difficult? I beg your pardon. Okay, so parliament विषय આપણે વાત કરેલી કે આર્ટિકલ 79 to આર્ટિકલ 122 in part 5 of the constitution parliament છે કેમ proportional representation આપણે એડોપ્ટ ના કર્યું એના વિશે આપણે ચર્ચા કરતા હતા. એકવાર ફરી ડિસ્કસ કરી લઈએ પછી આપણે આગળ વધીશું. So it is difficult for voters to understand. Okay, multiple parties lead to instability. Yes, eliminate uh, eliminate intimate contact between voters and representatives. Yes, promote minority thinking, increase significance of party system. Okay, and decrease that of voters and highly expensive. Yes, because if you've seen in Israel, if you've seen Belgium, I beg your pardon, Germany, so there they follow this proportional representation. So first of all, it is very difficult because you have a list of all the candidates, and you have to give priorities 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is again a difficult thing to understand for each and every voter, since almost about 25 quarter of an individual in India is illiterate. Secondly, there will be multiple parties, because every party will get seat based on the proportion of the votes that they gain. Okay, so that will create many parties. Direct contact between voters and the representative is lost. It reduces because they don't care if voter is a single voter is voting for their favor or not. They care for the proportion the party gets the vote. Okay. Promotes minority thinking, yes, because they have to in order to get one seat they have to capture one section of the voter. Increasing the significance of party system, yes. Decrease that of voters and might highly expensive, yes. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of proportional representation, and that is why we did not follow this, and instead we choose parliamentary form of government with single transfer. I beg your pardon. First past the first system. Okay. Disqualification. So OUCID. So Constitution Office Constitution state under Article 102 states for office of profit, unsound mind, citizenship of foreign state, insolvent, and disqualified under the law. Okay. OUCID, office of profit, unsound mind, citizen of foreign state, insolvent, and disqualification under law. So what are the different laws? The first is anti-defection law. It was it was enacted in 52nd Constitutional Amendment 1985, and again further amended in 91st Constitutional Amendment 2003. Kyoto Holohan Case 2 has a great amendment to the anti-defection law, and 10 schedule. Yes, they also gave about 10 schedule. In the recent example, we can quote Goa, Sikkim, MP, Karnataka, Manipur. Yes, so these are the examples of invocation of disqualification act. What are the criteria? So voluntarily giving up the membership of the party, voters or the voluntarily giving up the membership of party, vote or abstain from voting in the house, independent member joining the political party, and nominated members joining a political party after 6 months. Okay, so again, this thing is very irrational. I don't know how they have decided this. Okay, what are the positives? So recognition of the political party, yes, stability in the government. And you can write all the generic terms that you know. What are the negatives? See, here you can go on a based on you can think on based on a stakeholder approach. So party perspective, if you take party perspective, representative perspective, voter perspective, speaker, democracy, among others. Okay, so yes, it mustn't listen. It leads to wholesale defection. The speaker's power, they have utilized their power of disqualification based on partition manner. It demotivates MPs to work in the interest of people. Activities outside legislature is not such as the criminalization of politics. So yes, if they conduct a rape or something, sexual harassment, then too they are not removed from the political parties. Okay, independent members, again, they cannot join a political party. So that is again irrational. Judicial intervention often leads because of the often partisan role of the speaker, such as Manipur MLA was disqualified by Supreme Court since the speaker was not taking any decision on it. Political party is not too clearly defined, and merger and split, it becomes very difficult to understand whether it is a merger or a split in the case of Maharashtra. Way forward, we can quote Dinesh Goswami, Halim Committee told about recognition of political parties. We can also quote second ARC NCRWC. NCRWC said that the Election Commission of India should recommend for the disqualification, and President should be the one who should disqualify the MLA. Okay, even Supreme Court has told that there should be a tribunal to decide on disqualification. Okay, vacating of the seats. When there is double membership, disqualification, resignation, absence for 60 days, and there are other cases such as election declared void, expelled from the house, elected to the office of president or to the governor. Okay. Talking about speaker, Article 93. Yes, the speaker is the voice of the house. Sarkaria Commission has in its report stated that a partitioned speaker is a death knell to the parliament democracy. And how do we ensure the independence and impartiality of the speaker? The first is the security of tenure. A salary charged on the Constituted Fund of India. Work and conduct cannot be discussed uncriticized in Lok Sabha. No Supreme Court jurisdiction. Has casting vote, and seventh rank in the order of precedence. Okay, so these are the way to ensure independence and impartiality. Functions. Okay, we can do a segregate framework is related to the chair and related to the house and outside the house. The first is maintain the order and decorum, final interpreter of the constitution, rules and procedures, rules of procedures and conducts of the business of Lok Sabha, parliamentary president, adjourn the house, suspend in the absence of quorum, casting vote, presiding over joint sitting, allow secret sittings in the house, money bill, disqualification, ex officio chairman of Indian Parliamentary Group, conference of presiding officers in the legislative body, appoint chairman of parliamentary committees, chairman of business advisory committee, rules committee, and general purpose committee. Back rules and general purpose committee. Okay, what are the issues? The first is non-adherence to the doctrine of neutrality, disqualification, power issues, non-partisan interference of judiciary. Member of the political party, speaker in case of money bill is also been very contested, such as the Aadhaar bill or the tribunal bill. Arbitrary suspension of membership of the MPs, absoluteness in decision making, such as anti-defection, power of adjournment, suspension is misused. Okay, money bill is in Article 110. Imposition, abolition, remission, alteration, and regulation of any tax. Borrowing of money from Union government, custody of Consolidated Fund of India, okay, or Contingency Fund of India. Payment or withdrawal of money from such funds, appropriation of money outside Consolidated Fund of India, declaration or increase of any expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, receipt, custody of audit of the money on accounts of CFI, any matter incidental to the matter specified above is money bill. Okay, prelims પણ કામ આવશે અને મેઇન્સમાં પણ કામ આવશે એ બરાબર. ફાઇનાન્સ બિલ આર્ટિકલ 170 ક્લોઝ 1 અને ક્લોઝ 2. ઓકે, એના વિશે વધારે ચર્ચા કરવાની જરૂર નથી. યુઝ્યુઅલી ઇન્ટરવ્યુની અંદર પ્રશ્ન બહુ પૂછાય છે. રૂલ ઓફ પાર્લામેન્ટ તો યસ, દરેકનો જે છે આપણે સ્ટેક હોલ્ડર વાઇઝ જવાનું છે. તો સ્પીકરનું જોવાનું, લેજિસ્લેટિવ પેરાલિસિસ છે, ડ્યુરેશન છે, પેસેજ ઓફ ધ બિલ છે, કન્ડક્ટ ઓફ ધ એમપીઝ છે, ઓપોઝિશન સચ એઝ લીડર ઓફ ઓપોઝિશન છે, પ્રાઇવેટ મેમ્બર બિલ્સ છે, એમપીઝ પર્સનલ, બરાબર, અને પર્સનલ. તો આ રીતે આપણે સ્ટેક હોલ્ડરમાં જઈ શકીએ છીએ. બરાબર. કયા કયા પાવર્સ છે પાર્લામેન્ટ પાસે? લેજિસ્લેટિવ પાવર છે, એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ પાવર છે, ફાઇનાન્શિયલ પાવર છે, એને લેજિસ્લેટિવ પાવર યસ, એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ પાવર યસ, ફાઇનાન્શિયલ પાવર છે, કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુન્ટ પાવર છે, જ્યુડિશિયલ પાવર છે, ઇલેક્ટોરલ પાવર છે, અને અધર પાવર્સ છે. ઓકે, એ જોતા જઈએ તો ડિક્લાઇન ઇન ધ ફંક્શનિંગ ઓફ પાર્લામેન્ટ. યસ, આપણે જે છે વર્લ્ડ બેન્કે 6 પ્રિન્સિપલ આપેલા ફિકર કરીને છે. ફાઇનાન્શિયલ ઇફેક્ટિવનેસ, એફિશિયન્સી, હે ને, કમ્પ્લાયન્સ, રિલેવન્સ એન્ડ સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી. કમ્પ્લાયન્સ, રિલેવન્સ એન્ડ સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી. સો આ 6 પ્રિન્સિપલના આધારે આપણે જોશું કે કઈ રીતે રોલ જે છે ડિક્લાઇન થાય છે. ફાઇનાન્શિયલ પાવરની વાત કરીએ તો પેક છે, કેક છે અને બજેટ છે. ઓકે, ટેકનિકલ નેચર ઓફ ડિમાન્ડ ઓફ ધ ગ્રાન્ટ એના કારણે એ લોકોને ખ્યાલ નથી હોતો એમપીસ એમએલએસને. ફાઇનાન્શિયલ કમિટીઝ પોસ્ટમોર્ટમ કરે છે. ઓકે, increase resources to guillotine. Yes, recourse to the guillotines. Okay, guillotine પેલા મોશન છે. 5 ministry budget listed and 3 discussed. Okay. 76% of the budget are approved without discussion. Zero bill scrutiny in budget session. Okay. Effectiveness, quality of the law made. Okay, જેમ કે ટ્રિબ્યુનલ એક્ટ, આધાર એક્ટ, આ બે પાસે જ્યુડિશિયલ સ્ક્રુટિની કરવી પડી. Neither time nor expertise. Yes, legislative leadership lies with executive. Size of the parliament is too large and unmanageable. Majority with executive reduces effective criticism. Parliamentary privileges curbing freedom of speech. Yes, okay. Efficiency વાત કરીએ તો quality of work and the post of deputy speaker is vacant. Low attendance, almost 71% and 74% in Rajya Sabha. So that means almost a quarter, almost about 25% of the members are absent. Lowering the standard of parliamentary scrutiny, frequent elections, politicization of parliamentary committee, anti-defection law, waste of question hour. Between 2015 to 2019, only about 41% of the time in question hour was utilized. Okay, what can be conclusion to this? That in 1997, Parliament adopted a resolution that question hour should not be disrupted. Members should not rush into the well of the house. Okay. Compliance, criminalization of politics. It has reduced the parliamentarians themselves are not complying with the law. Or relevance to bring the qualitative change, such as Food Security Act, Right to Education Act, Right to Information Act. So this are bringing qualitative changes. Women Reservation Act, Women Reservation Bill. Okay, GST Bill. Yes, so there is a relevance. Dominance of archaic law with loopholes such as NDPS Act amendment 2014 missed to add the financial support led to the prisoners releasing. Okay, અમે એકચ્યુઅલી એવું થઈ ગયેલું કે આ જે એક્ટને જ્યારે અમેન્ડ કરતા હતા તો આ જે ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સપોર્ટવાળો જે ટર્મ હતો કે જો કોઈ પણ વ્યક્તિ ફાઇનાન્શિયલી સપોર્ટ કરે છે આ ડ્રગ્સ ટ્રાફિકિંગ એને તો એને પણ પ્રિઝનરની પ્રિઝર્વેશન થશે, જેલ થાય, સજા વજા થાય એવો કાર્ડ નાખેલો. લાઈક ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સપોર્ટવાળો શબ્દ મિસ થઈ ગયેલો. તો એના કારણે શું છે કે આખું પ્રિઝનર રિલીઝ થઈ ગયેલો, કેમ કે પોસ્ટ ફેક્ટર તો ક્રિમિનલ લાગી ના શકે. પછી ઇન્ક્રીઝિંગ રિકોર્સ ટુ ધી ડેલિગેટેડ લેજિસ્લેશન. યસ, sustainability, so decline of representative democracy, weakening of the opposition, ordinance use of ordinances frequency, declining setting from 140 days in 1950 to average about 65 days in past 5 years. So which is again showing a decline in sittings. Post of deputy speaker is again empty since past 2 years. Money bill such as insurance bill, LIC Act are again taken as a money bill to bypass Rajya Sabha. What are the opposition's role? Okay, let us see first the opposition's role. So the positive is the carrier of national spirit, held popular trust of people. During Congress era, even the Congress within the Congress used to have a decent opposition within it. Okay, popular trust of people, carried national movements such as JP movement, offered robust parliamentary opposing such as 2G scam. Okay, what are the negatives? Anemic and fragmented, lack sustained amendment, 3D. Yes, I'm not sure what it means. Engagement, sorry, I beg your pardon. Lack sustained engagement. Okay, so because it leads to 3D, that is disruption, delay and dismay. Limited unity, yes. Weakened by internal frictions, Janata Party again. Denial of the role of opposition in quorum because of the lack of quorum. Bypassing opposition scrutiny via hurried legislation such as Jammu Kashmir reorganization. Bypassing Rajya Sabha scrutiny. Partition role of speaker, reduction in structure of parliamentary portfolios. Yes, so these are the negatives. What is the solution? Allow session if 50 MB pass resolution. Okay, a UK model that 20-day agenda set by the opposition. So 20-day agenda can be set by the opposition. Develop shadow cabinet model. PM question hour can be introduced. Okay. What is delegated legislation? According to Basant Nahata case, the power of delegated legislation flow from the legislative power under Article 245. It allows minute laws making by executive. Okay. What is its importance? It could inability of parliament to make minute rules. Yes. So parliament has a very huge task, so they cannot do this. Following parliamentary business, parliamentary form, unity among organs, flexibility, and final shape of law. Problem against the spirit of law, breaks the spirit and slaughters rule. For an example, in slaughter rule, yes. Delegation of legislative functions, undermine separation of power, lack executive competence, bypass parliamentary scrutiny, bypassing parliamentary scrutiny, law without debate, discussion, deliberation, undermine the mandate given, concentration of power. Okay. What can be a good conclusion? That decency, dignity, and decorum are the ideals of legislation which could be upheld by debate, discussion, and deliberation without resorting to the tactics of delay, dismay, and disruption. Okay, so you can use this conclusion 3D for 3D for 3D. Okay. Dissolution effects on bill. So it was a previous question in GPSC. So which are the bills that are affected by dissolution? Okay, bill that lapse, whatever touches Lok Sabha can lapse. Okay, bill pending lapse in Lok Sabha lapses. Bill passed by Lok Sabha and pending in Rajya Sabha lapses. What does not lapse? Joint sitting, no. Pending in RS but not passed by Lok Sabha, no. Bill passed by both the houses and waiting for the president sitting, no. Bill passed by president but returned for the consideration, no. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there are 4 such scenarios. Motion again can be a question in GPSC, so we need to study them. There are various motions. Substantive motion is for the impeachment of president and removal of chief election commission. Substitute motion is to supersede the original motion. Subsidiary motions such as the closure motion cut short the debate, simple closure when matter is sufficiently discussed. Okay, closure by compartment and bill or lengthy resolution are grouped in parts. Kangaroo motion, only important clause, and guillotine closure. Undiscussed clause are put to vote due to time constraint. Okay, so these are the closure motions. Privilege motion for the breach of parliamentary privilege by the minister. Calling attention motion, call attention of the minister. Adjournment motion, matter is of urgent public importance. It should be definite. Factual and urgent, public importance should be there. Only one matter at a time. Recent occurrence. Okay, not raise a question of privilege. Not same matter that has already been discussed. Not discuss matter that is under adjudication. Not raise a question that can be raised on a distinct motion. No confidence motion, censure motion, motion of thanks, no say named yet. Motion has been admitted by speaker, but no date fixed. No fixed date is for the discussion. Okay, so these are the various motions that could be a potential question in GPSC. Okay, coming on the other side of the same column, Parliament is still discussing Parliament. Okay. Keywords such as bipartisan support, parliamentary ethics, code of conduct can be often used. Okay. State legislative assembly. Okay. What is equal for assembly, and then there are unequal with the assembly. Okay. Here it is on the basis of Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. Okay. Sorry. Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Okay. Okay. Introduction and passage of ordinary bill, approval of ordinance, selection of minister, consideration of a report, and enlargement of jurisdiction of State Public Service Commission. Okay. અનઇક્વલ ક્યાં છે તો મની બિલ જે છે એમાં ઓકે મની બિલ છે એ સ્પીકર ડિસાઇડ કરે કેનોટ અમેન્ડ ઓર રિજેક્ટ ઓનલી ડિસ્કસ ધી બજેટ ડાયલેટરી ચેમ્બર ઓર એડવાઇઝરી બોડી નો કોન્ફિડન્સ મોશન ની અંદર કોઈ રૂલ નથી હોતો ઓર્ડિનરી બિલ રિજેક્ટેડ બાય સ્ટેટ લેજિસ્લેટિવ એસેમ્બલી ઇઝ ડેડ President election, no effective say in constitutional amendment bill. Okay. President election hoy, no effective say in the constitutional amendment bill, and very existence depends on the will of the assembly. Okay. वही नो इफेक्टिव से इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट बिल कहियो क्योंकि जो स्पेशल मेजोरिटी विद 50% consent of the state legislative assembly. So in those cases too, they do not require any approval from the state legislative council. Okay. Position of Rajya Sabha equal to the Lok Sabha is in case of ordinary bill, constitutional amendment, financial bill involving expenditure from consolidated fund of India, election and impeachment of president or Supreme Court, approval of ordinance, emergency approvals. Okay, selection of ministers including prime minister, consideration of report of constitutional committees. Okay, commissions. Okay, I beg your pardon. Enlargement of jurisdiction of Supreme Court and UPSC. Very is unequal when it comes to money bill, joint sitting, finance bill, speaker, head of joint sitting, only discuss budget but cannot vote, no confidence motion and censure motion, collective responsibility, resolution to discontinue national emergency passed only by Lok Sabha. Okay. There are some special powers with Lok Sabha, I beg your pardon, Rajya Sabha, that low in the state list. Okay. All India services, Article 312, removal of vice president, approval of emergency, wide representation. Yes? Okay. What are the positive roles played by Rajya Sabha? Keep checks on the arbitrary and ill-conceived legislation passed by Lok Sabha. Prevent authoritarian rule. Reflect the role of states in Indian polity. Permanent chamber to initiate public debate. Nomination of experts. Extensive debate. Share the burden of lower house. Extra power, creation of all India service, resolution to empower parliament to enact law in the state list, give representation to the people who are unable to get representation in Lok Sabha. Okay. A negative blockage to the key legislation, same party rule in the both houses. Okay. Bill pass in ad hoc and haphazard manner. Bypassing Rajya Sabha scrutiny through money bill. Backdoor entry for defeated candidates. Yes, so those are the negatives. Talking about parliamentary committees, rules of the two houses standing. Okay, so it is in the rules of the two houses. Standing there are about 24 and there are many ad hoc. Okay. Significance, detailed scrutiny such as in the case of COVID-19, impartial functioning, engagement with multiple stakeholders such as the RBI governor called during the demonetization. Okay. Accountability in the case of Facebook, Cambridge Analytica. Financial prudence of budget. What are the issues? Bypassing. Yes, only about in the past 2 years, only about 26 bills were referred to the parliamentary committee, which is very low compared to 70% and during the 1993 to 2003. A very short tenure of only 1 year. Poor attendance, almost about 50% are absent. Politicization of the members. Not open to public to see, such as in the case of US. Fail to track government on international treaties such as in UK and Canada. Okay. Consensus for taking matter. Okay, such as PA key not take vaccine production and distribution because no consensus. Okay. What is the way forward? There are certain recommendations given by various committees, and that these committees we will be discussing comprehensively in a separate lecture. Okay, such as NCRBC, NCRWC, second ARC, avoid overlapping functions, regular monitoring, adopting best practices, ministers appear before committee in UK. Okay. Talking about parliamentary pack. Okay. Yes, that's it. It was formed in 1921. It has 22 members. 1921, with a membership of 22 people. Examine the appropriation accounts and finance accounts. Scrutinize appropriate accounts and audit reports of the CAG. Examine the accounts of state cooperation, trading concerns and manufacturing projects and audit the report of CAG on them. Examine the accounts of autonomous and semi-autonomous bodies and audits of the CAG on them. Consider the report of CAG relating to the audits of any receipt or to examine the account of stores and stocks. examine the money spent on any service in excess to the amount granted by Lok Sabha. Okay, so these are the functions of PAC. What are the issues that have already been taken by PAC, such as the 2G spectrum case, Commonwealth Game 2010, Others housing case, coal block allocation, demonetization, among others? Okay, what is the issue? Not concerned with the question of policy, post-mortem, cannot intervene in the matter of day-to-day administration, advisory and non-binding, no power of disallowance of the expenditure by department, not an executive body, and cannot issue an order. Okay, so these are the major issues with PAC. Any parliamentary committee, if cannot have this power, that means it is only advisory, and that advises of an executive neglect. Okay, estimate committee formed in 1921. Again, it has 30 members and report what economies, improvement in organization, okay, efficiency and administrative reforms consistent with the policy underlying, suggest alternative policies, examine whether the money is well laid out, suggest form in which estimates are to be presented in parliament. Okay, what are the issues? Ganga rejuvenation, okay, issues that have been taken by estimate committee. The first is the Ganga rejuvenation 2016, banking sector non-performing asset in 2018, GDP parameters in 2018. Okay, what is the issue? It lacks CAG's assistance, cannot question the policy laid out by the parliament, examine only few ministries and departments. So those are the major issues. Committee on Public Undertaking, again, I think let's not discuss this. Standing committee considers the demand of the grant to examine the bill, consider the annual report, consider national long-term policy. Okay, what are the merits? Devoid of party bias. Okay, the first is that it is devoid of party bias, flexible procedure, parliamentary control over executive, ensure prudence, experts are called in, opposition parties and Rajya Sabha has a greater financial control. Okay, what are the challenges? A referral to this committees is not mandatory. Public consultation is not mandatory. 1 year term, lack of transparency, non-acceptance of DRS recommendations. Okay, so such recommendations are not accepted, mostly not accepted. What could be the way forward? Now, Pratap Bhanu Mehta has written a book called Rethinking Public Institution. It has given certain recommendations, such as in the case of USA model. A referral is mandatory. Transparency in functioning, increasing the term of office, and provide research support by experts. Okay, so this could be the way forward. Okay. Talking about parliamentary privileges, okay, Article 105 and 194 talks about the parliamentary privileges. There are certain collective privileges and then there are individual privileges. Breach of privilege is taken into consideration by the privilege committee. Okay. Example, chairman of PAC on science and tech. Okay. Parliamentary privilege motion against Times Now for falsified and mischievous reporting of the proceedings of the panel meeting. Karnataka Assembly in 2017 imposed a fine imposed imprisoned and fined two editors. Okay, so let us talk about the privileges available. Okay, so it is under Article 105, 194. There are certain constitutional provisions, law, rules of both the houses, parliamentary conventions, and judicial interpretations. So it is not codified. Okay. What are the collective privileges? A right to publish, report, debate in proceedings, and also right to prohibit others from publishing the same. Can exclude stranger from its proceedings and hold secret meetings. Make rules to regulate its own proceedings and conduct of its business to adjudicate upon such matter. Okay. Punish member as well as outside for the breach of privilege. Right to receive immediate information of arrest, detention, conviction of the member. Institute inquiry and order attendance of witness and send for the relevant papers and records. Court are prohibited into the inquiring of the proceedings of the House, that is 112 and 211. Okay, I beg your pardon, 121 and 211. No person can arrest and no legal proceedings without the permission of the presiding officer. Such was the case in the case of P. Chidambaram in a Herald case, in which the presiding officer stated that no immunity in case of criminal case. Okay. What are the individual privileges? 40 days in civil matter, he cannot be arrested before the hearing. I think before the sitting of the house. Not liable to any proceedings in any court for anything said or anything vote given by him. Exempted from jury service. Okay. What are the issues? Again, separation of power, speaker, codification is limited, misuse, freedom of speech and expression, such as in the case of Searchlight case. Here in this case, Searchlight case, એવું થયેલું કે પૂછવામાં આવેલું કે આર્ટિકલ 19 ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ પાસે જે રાઇટ છે એ મોટી છે કે પ્રિવિલેજની અંદર આર્ટિકલ 105 અને 194 આમની જે રાઇટ છે MPMLની બોલવાની સત્તા. તો જે બોલવાની સત્તા છે એ વધારે મહત્ત્વની છે compared to the freedom of speech and expression of Article 19 of an individual. Profile of MPs આપણે વાતચીત કરીએ તો criminalization of politics in a neo-democratic is a neo-democratic terror which sounds death knell to the democracy. Okay, from 34% to almost 43% in the region, and of which almost 29% has a serious case of criminal charges. Okay, what are the causes? So we can think on the lines of demand, supply, or political, economical, legal, social impact. Okay. Second ARC has said that opportunities to influence investigation by transforming police from adversaries to allies is a magnet drawing criminals to the politics. Okay. So criminal justice system. So what are the other demands? With elections becoming expensive, parties choose who can contribute to the party fund. Okay. Breakdown of electoral financial structure. Yes. In face of weak rule of law, voter choice criminals for their ability to get things done. Okay. Supply, breakdown of law and order, weak criminal justice system, low conviction, messes of liberal assumptions. Okay. Accused is innocent until proven guilty by most illiberals. Okay. And what are the consequences? Tainted democracy, procedural democracy, self-perpetuating, denial of justice and rule of law. Only about 6% conviction rate in case of MPs and MLAs. Ohra committee report has said that criminal network is running parallel government. Yes. Moral decay on Indian democracy. Okay. Way forward could be inner party democracy. Yes. Vice President has said that caste, criminality and caste should not be the yardstick to enter parliament, rather capacity, capability, character, compass, conduct should be the yardstick. Okay. So that was it. That was parliament. Let us look into executive. And then it would be judiciary. Then constitutional bodies, electoral system. Okay. We'll take a short break and then we'll continue with the executive.